You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down, featuring in-depth discussion and interviews with stand-up comedians on the art of stand-up comedy. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Stand Up, Sit Down.
All right. Welcome to another exciting episode of Stand Up, Sit Down. We got party all the time planned. Right?
Can't beat that.
Your host, Nick Perdue, and I'm sitting here with the hilarious, talented man that I've actually watched for years, and so it's nice being able to sit across the table from you, Mr. Jordan Black. How you doing, sir?
Nice. Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. How's your day going?
Good. Been busy running around doing press, but this is my last stop for the day, so I'm just gonna put it all out there right now. It all out there.
All right. So Christine called. She was apparently you're a baby mama, and she wants to know when you're doing the.
Because I have no money for her. I have no money. You know, I hope the best for the child, but I got nothing for her.
Well, see, then she needs to call someone else.
Yes, for sure.
All right, Joe. So let me ask you, because your original name is Gary Andre McCroy.
Oh, we going there, Nick. Because
I was doing research, right? And then so because I know you from what I've seen on TV and the movies and stuff like that. I know Jordan Black. So we can see with Jordan Black. And then I go on, I'm like, okay, well, who's Gary? It's Gary from Illinois. It's from Kankakee, is that what you said? Kankakee, Illinois.
Well, you know, once I dropped the shackles of my slave name. I just wanted to, as a little kid, I always knew I wanted to be in show business, knew I wanted to be an actor, and just like knew nothing about the business. But one thing I knew about the business was you change your name. So I was like, I'm going to change. So as a little kid, I started trying to think of names that I would come up with, and then eventually I landed on Jordan Black.
But why Jordan Black? Were you a Michael Jordan fan?
I'm very much so. I'm from Kankakee, Illinois, which is an hour outside Chicago. So, yes, very much a Michael Jordan fan. And then black was always my favorite color. Growing up, so I always wore a lot of black. I'm wearing black right now.
Interesting.
And,
Interesting, okay. So what was it like growing up in Illinois in the 70s and the 80s?
Oh, God, it was really great growing up in a small town. It was a factory town. They had farms on the outskirts of town. Very racially, kind of evenly racially mixed. Okay. And so it was one of those towns that you hear about where you didn't have to lock your doors, you know.
Oh, wow.
It was like come home when the street lights come on. Like you just go outside and you free to run around the whole town all day, just be home before dark, you know. So that was a great way to grow up. Now, I did not appreciate it. I hated it. I thought it was the most boring town ever. You know, as an adult looking back, I can say, oh, well, at least I, you know, was able to have some freedom to run around. But yeah, it was, I found it very boring.
But in the most part, yeah, like a nice, happy childhood.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was definitely, you know, like everybody, you know, we didn't have, my mother was a school teacher, so we didn't have a lot of money, single mother. But, you know, you don't really know you're poor until you get around somebody with some money.
Right.
So it's like, we didn't feel like we were missing out on anything, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So now, were you always the funny kid in class or growing up?
It depended on my grade in that class. If I was doing well in a class, then that teacher got hell from me because it's like, I got this. Like, I'm getting an A. What you gonna say to me?
Right.
I can't get in trouble because I'm good. But if I was getting a D, I was quiet because I never wanted a teacher to say to me, maybe if you shut your mouth for a second, you could bring your grade up. So I knew, like, yeah, be cool with this teacher because I don't want to get embarrassed.
So, but did you ever like try and talk your way into some extra credit? You know, saying, oh, I have a D here, but
you know what?
Maybe C minus.
I was not that clever in school to think of that, and unfortunately, there's a good thing about knowing what you want to do when you grow up, but there's also a bad side to it if what you want to do doesn't really require a college degree. So I was like, I just gotta graduate. Like, so my thing was like, just do enough to get out of high school so you can get to LA. And so now if I had wanted to do something that required more education, then I would have done that. I was like, oh, well, I know what I want to do. And I don't need to learn Spanish to be an. I'm not gonna do any Spanish films. So I wish I had taken more advantage of the educational opportunities I'd had.
Right, especially you move out here to LA. You know, you need to. Spanish is basically a second language. You know what I mean?
I wish
just getting around.
Yes, I wish. I mean, it's Los Angeles.
Right.
I was unaware of that. When I thought it was just Los Angeles.
No.
No.
But okay, so growing up, you said that you knew that you wanted to be in entertainment. But did you know that you wanted to get into comedy, or was it just kind of like I just want to be an actor?
You know what? I thought I was going to be this dramatic leading man, because those were all the movies I loved watching and growing up watching. Even though I loved sitcoms and all that, in my mind, that's just what I saw. Even though I was a class clown and all that, and loved doing improv. And then it wasn't until I got to LA and started auditioning for things. I did a lot of dramatic work initially, and then I found out that you could do improv for audiences. Like, I knew it as an acting exercise. I was like, oh, they do, I was like, I love improv. I was always good at improv, so let me do it. And so that sort of got me into the comedy thing. And then once that ball started rolling, it was over. It was like, it was all comedy all the time.
So what was your first time performing like?
Well, I started doing plays when I was a kid in Illinois, but professionally, one of the first things I did out here, believe it or not, was a play that was being produced by Marla Gibbs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was a while ago, and that was really great. It was this really cool play, and I had never had the experience of being in a professionally produced play.
Right.
We got good reviews, and some celebs came out to see the show. And I was still pretty much a hick. So I was like, oh my God, that's look at who's here. That's Robert Townsend. Whoever. So that was really cool. And unfortunately, it spoiled me because that play did really well. And then after that, I learned people don't really support plays. I was like, I would have appreciated it more had I known that this was not the norm.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a nice way to kind of ease into it, so you're not kind of thrusted onto this big movie set and yada, 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 then it's the same thing over and over again, so it kind of helps you,
Yeah.
But now, so now doing plays versus doing improv, doing live improv, which do you prefer?
Oh, I always prefer improv. I love improv so much. It's really, it's my vice. It's my drug of choice. I can't get enough of it.
So what was that first show like?
The first time I ever did improv was in class when I was growing up, and I didn't understand what it was we were supposed to be doing. So we do this scene, and I didn't really do anything in it because I didn't know what we were supposed to be doing. The other kids had done it before.
Yeah.
But then by the time it ended, and I realized, oh, we're just gonna make up what we say. Oh, I'm in. Okay, let's do this again. Let's roll. I'm ready. Let's roll. Let's do. So I was like, and after that, it was like off to the races. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted more of it.
Right. As long as you chime in and it relates to whatever's going on, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure that was always the case when I started, but I've since learned those things.
So what has been your best improv show to date that you can be like, that should have won an Emmy?
Oh, well, I mean, I have the show coming up, RIOT, that I think is really funny. It's going to start airing on Fox next Tuesday. And that show was great because I was working with all these other great improvisers that they found. And some of them I've worked with before. And I love that. But that also has this physical challenges component to it. So, so hopefully there's some Emmys in our future.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know you guys have Steve Carell's name behind it.
Oh yeah. So that helps.
It's a nice big push. So
he has a couple of fans.
Yeah, just
and a couple of Emmys.
So they know who he is. Now they'll know who you are.
So even if I don't win an Emmy, maybe Steve will just give me one of his Emmys because he appreciates my work. That's what friends do. If he's cool, that's what he'll do.
All right, he'll at least let you hold on to it for the weekend.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking. Nick,
take a couple photos with it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Pass around like the Stanley Cup. Let us all enjoy it. It's our Emmy.
Exactly.
Got you one of the office 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But what has been your worst show where you're like, what's going on?
In improv?
In improv.
Oh, man. Well, I do a lot of improv shows, so I've probably had a few tough ones. I'm trying to think. I tend to block out the bad memories. I do a lot of regular improv shows. So the worst ones are just the ones where you get out there and the audience is having none of you. You know, it's like, you know, it is as a stand-up. You know, it's like you get out there and it's like, well, I know that I can do this.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I'm funny, but you guys don't want any of it. So those are the ones that are tough. It's just like, audience, come with me, please.
Right.
Yeah.
But do people heckle during improv shows or no?
Not generally, no, unless they're very drunk.
But have you had a heckler before?
We've had people that have been very talky, even if they're not talking to us. You know,
they're just loud.
Like,
right?
you're just loud and talking to each other about the show or not.
Yeah.
So we've had that. I perform at the Groundlings Theater, so from time to time you get that. We're just like, can someone ask them to hold it down just for a little bit? Give us a few more minutes.
Hold up a quiet sign.
Yeah.
But
But heckling is not a big problem in the improv world. We don't get too much of that.
Interesting. Yeah. Because I don't know. Because I feel that like I think that's more pressure when doing improv versus stand up. Because we stand like we know kind of what we're gonna say.
Right.
For the most part, you know, and then we can kind of go off on tangents or whatever. But it's like improv. It's like you just go.
That's true, but. Every improviser I know thinks stand-up is harder, including myself.
Really?
Yeah, because in stand-up, you're by yourself.
That's
so
true.
if it's not going well, there's nobody to help you.
Right.
In improv, you're up there with a team, at least one other person. So if you say something that falls flat, they can actually make that into something funny. The fact that you bombed, they can make that into something.
Right.
Or even if you're just not, or whatever's going on, you have somebody else there to get the audience back on your side. You know, you're never up there by yourself. So, and I prefer that, you know, so.
Now this is something that I've noticed with different troupes, right? Because, you know, I venture out in Santa Monica sometimes, you know, they have, you know, a couple of things down there. But I was in this parking lot and there was this group who, you know, was an improv group, and they were doing this game.
They're warming up.
Yeah, so it was like it was a big booty. I think.
Oh
it was,
yeah,
right?
I know big booty.
Like what is that, and how does that help you warm up?
Well, there's a lot of different warm ups. Big booty is one that forces you to listen. So you have to really listen, because if you don't, then I think it was big booty. I forget how. I can't think of exactly how it goes, but it's basically a listening exercise, which is most of what improv is, and most warm-ups are just trying to get you to connect and listen. And so that in a game like Big Booty, if you don't listen and you make a mistake, then you have to start over, and then or you're out. You know, you're out and you don't want to get out, so you got to really try to listen, which then helps you in the show because it's all about listening. Yeah, that's the good thing about improv, is that you really learn the art of listening.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So okay, but now like.
But it looks really stupid.
It does, no,
when
but like,
someone's
but
watching from the
listening to
outside.
it though, I was like, I just wanted to get in the game because they're talking about big booty. So I'm like, I want to, you know, like, I want to play. Like, let's you know, snapping and clapping. I'm like, listen, you guys are having fun. It was kind of weird because it was in like a parking lot, in like the down kind of quiet empty part.
I probably have been in that show because I've been warming up in an alley in Santa Monica.
Right? Yeah, like it's a little weird. Safe as alleys are in Santa Monica, though, which is
it's much safer.
Right.
Safe for improvisers.
Right?
Anyway.
Yeah. But now, okay, because improv versus stand-up, and because I've interviewed a couple guys who have done both or who currently do both, right? And so I think probably like the quick thinking, because like if someone bombs, like you said, someone else can kind of pick it up. But what if like the scene just falls flat? Like how do you recover from just a flat scene?
It's all about commitment. You just have to commit, not panic. You know, just like with a stand-up, if it's not going well, you just have to be like, I'm going to commit to my act, and I know it works, so I'm going to just hang in here, do my jokes. I might switch my act up a little bit.
Right.
You know, if they're not going for this material, then I might switch it up and go in this direction. And in improv, it's the same thing. You just have to commit and say, we can get this back on track. And sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, you know, and then the scene just ends. You're like, well, we'd like to apologize to the audience for that horrible performance.
Did you ever kick anyone out of the group?
Of the scene?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you mean just in a group, just dynamic, and you just like, we're doing shows and you're a member, but you're no longer a member?
Yeah, like that,
yes,
and you're just
yes,
like, hey,
yes,
sorry.
Yes, that has happened. So people like, you know what? What usually what happens with improv groups is this. They don't kick you out. What they do is they go, oh, we're not going to do any more shows, and then we're going to get a new name, of the group and do shows, and the only difference is you're not in it. But
That's true.
We changed the name and we changed the membership up, and you just don't happen to be in that show. So that was my experience that I noticed that would happen. People go like, we're gonna go do a show somewhere else, and I'm just gonna take everybody but you.
See, improv's a cold game.
It can be.
So now, because the group that you perform with, right? It's because it's with Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, I do a show at the Groundlings. I'm an alum of the Groundlings sketch and improv company here, and I created this show called The Black Version about 4 years ago. And what we did and what we still do is we put together a cast of all black improvisers. And then we have the audience yell out movie titles of real movies like Titanic, E.T., The Godfather, and we pick one and then we improvise the black version of that movie right there on the spot for them. And so Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele were original members of the group, and now they just guest from time to time because they're quite busy.
I mean, they're
on their
shooting season 4.
Peabody Award-winning sketch show. So they're a little busy, but then the rest of us, like I have Gary Anthony Williams, Cedric Yarbrough, who you might know from Reno 911, Phil Lamar from Mad TV, and Daniel Gaither from Mad TV. And then Gary is like, he's Uncle Ruckus on the Boondocks.
Right, he was on Malcolm in the
Middle,
right.
and Boston Legal. So yeah, really good, just the best improvisers I know, and I was able to get them to agree to do this show, and so we've been having a blast doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I kind of want you guys just to do like a Black Saturday Night Live and just.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Know, and just get it on,
I know,
on
right?
TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, forget about New York. Do it out here in LA. You know, you guys already have the top guys in it. Grab Tim Meadows. Yeah. You know, and just go ahead and make it happen. Get Ari Spears. You know what I mean? He needs some
Tracy Morgan,
right? You know what I mean? Let's just make it happen.
Yeah. Get Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy to produce it.
There you go. There you go.
All right, from your lips to God's ears.
Right? I'm just
make this happen.
Hey, listen. Listen, guys. Listen. So you have over 60 credits on IMDb, which I think is incredible. How do you stay so busy and how do you stay so consistent, especially in this industry?
Well, I think it's two things. There's, it's a very competitive industry where, there's 50 actors for every one role.
Right.
I think consistency is a big part of it, just being someone who people see is serious about it and is going for it constantly and always staying busy, even if it's not in projects that are well known or like television or movies. Like just like the way we do the Black version, just doing things that let the industry know that you're somebody who is doing this. You know, you get work by getting work. It's always that. So. And then you take, like me, depending on what it is, like I'll do, if you have a YouTube video, if it's funny, I'll do it. You know what I mean? It's like anything that's fun, like I just like to stay busy because you just never know where something might lead to. I've worked on things where you thought, oh, this is just like I directed this web series called Ask a Slave. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I think so. I think I've seen some.
And it was just something, the star of it, Azy, who created it, she just, didn't know me. She just Facebooked me and said, "Would you be interested in directing this?" I was like, "Sure, I'm free. I'll do it." And then it went viral and got all these hits and all this press. So it's like you never know the thing you're working on that you might think, "Oh, well, people will turn down things like, oh, that's nothing. I don't want to do that." And I'm not like that. I'm like, if I'm free and I'm available, and it's something that I think has some quality to it, then yeah, I'll totally do it.
Yeah, but would you ever turn down anything though?
I have turned down things. If it's something that I think is just like, doesn't have any sort of either comedic value or is just crass and just pointless or just like, just like anything that's like, cause I don't have any sacred cows in comedy. I think everything is open season as far as comedy. But certain things like, well, that's such an old joke and it's just not, it just doesn't add anything to the conversation of life or whatever it is, then yeah, I'll say I definitely will turn things down if I feel like there's just no value for me doing it.
What if it's funny? What if it's like okay, like, I can see this being funny, but let's say like they want you to play a role that you don't necessarily want to play.
Well, I mean, if it's funny, I'll probably do it because that's the #1 rule for me is that it has to be funny. If it's a role that I feel like I don't want to do, then it would depend on the reason I don't want to do it. Meaning, do I think I'm not right for this role? Like I can't pull this off. You know, people won't buy me as this character, so you'll lose the comedy. And something like that, then what I'll try to do is work with whoever the creator is and say, maybe we can finesse it in a way where I can do it and get you the comedy and the laughs that you want to get, you know. But as written, maybe I feel like, and I don't mind saying that, like as written, I'm not the best person for this part, you know.
That's strong.
Yeah,
that's strong. Especially, you know, because in Black Hollywood, you know, I feel that there's this bias, especially with comedians, and you know, you've heard the stories and that, in order for someone to really be successful, especially like a black comedian to really be successful, you know, they need to put on the dress, or they need to, you know, play a gay character, this and that, yada, yada, yada. So kind of like, what are your feelings on that? And have you been approached with some of these roles?
I mean, I've put on a dress. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I ever put on a dress on camera, but on stage for sure.
Okay.
In sketch comedy. Oh, in my personal life. I'm always wearing a dress. But, I mean, here's my thing. About the dress thing, I think the dress thing has been blown out of proportion because men wearing dresses is a comedy staple. It's been around, you know, it was in, what was the Jack Lemmon and movie, Some Like It Hot and Tony Curtis.
Okay.
So so it's been, to me, it's just an old joke anyway. Like, if I was going to be offended by it just because it's an old joke, it's an easy laugh. Like, put a dude in a dress, people are going to start laughing, right? So I'm not offended as a black person because I'm like, well, white guys been putting on dresses forever. You know, Robin Williams was Mrs. Doubtfire. Now, I understand that there's a difference as far as the amount of roles that we see black actors in. So if half of them are dudes in dresses, then yeah, I think that is a problem. Yeah. But I don't think it's something that you have to say, like, as a black actor, I will never put on a dress. Like, if it's funny and it's a good script, I don't care what it is. I'll play a slave. I'll play a man in a dress. It depends on the material, you know, and what it's really saying, what the overall message of the film or project is. So, yeah, that's my feeling. Gay, whatever, I'll play, yeah. I played gay characters. I played men in dresses, or a woman, I guess is what I played. And, you know, so yeah, you know, for me, it comes down to the comedy value of it. Like, is it funny, and is it saying something other than just, oh, you just put on a dress and so we're supposed to think that's funny. That's pointless to me.
So who do you look up to, and who do you kind of study their craft?
There's quite a few, but like the people like I grew up really watching was Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. You know, those are the guys that I really watched. You know, I loved the Cosby Show growing up. You know, so those are the people who like really sort of laid the foundation for me, especially Eddie Murphy, because he was at his height when I was in high school. So that was like, he just had such a huge impact on me. So probably the first 5 or 6 years I was doing comedy, I was just doing Eddie Murphy's characters. Unbeknownst to me, like sometimes I would put on an old Eddie Murphy stand-up special and go, oh, that's where I got that bit from. Oh, I thought that was mine. But that's clearly Eddie's bit. You know, so it's just in there, it gets in my DNA. Yeah.
Okay. So, but no like Brando Murphy type stuff. Like
I mean, De Niro is probably as far as actors, De Niro's by far my favorite actor. He had a huge influence on me as far as watching somebody who really can make you forget that they are not that character. You know what I mean? Like to see how good of an actor he is, it just blows my mind.
What has been your favorite role to play thus far?
I did this short-lived show on Comedy Central called Halfway Home, and I played this character who was a wannabe thug. So he like grew up with money, but he was trying to be hard. The way I described him was he was like the white kids who grew up in a cul-de-sac, but all they listened to was hip hop, so they act that way. So he just happened to be a black kid who grew up that way. So he was like, so he just faking the funk. But anyway, and his name was Seabass, and short for Sebastian, but he wanted to be called Seabass. And that was a really fun character, and that was a really fun show. It was all improv sitcom, so we improvised all the dialogue. And Octavia Spencer from The Help was on that show as well, and Oscar Nunez from The Office was on that show. So we had a great cast, and it was so much fun.
But now, do you find it easier to improv when you're on a show? You know, like it's a regular scripted show, but you're on playing a character. Maybe have a couple of episodes that you're doing, and then you just start You know, like take 3. Like I'm just gonna, you know, just wing it, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that. You know, working on projects where they allow. I mean, I've worked on scripted things where they allow a little bit of improv and keep it loose. I really enjoy that. I enjoy the combination of the two, where you have a strong script,
right,
and then you can sort of make it your own and have fun with it as well. So I do love that.
So who has been your favorite actor to work with? Like you're in a scene, it's either intense or it's super hilarious.
Oh, honestly, I worked, one of my first early jobs was I worked on the Andy Dick show on MTV. I don't know if you remember that show years ago. And I really loved working with Andy on that show because he was just really on top of it. He was just in a great space, and he was really like running the set and running the show, and I was such a huge fan of his, and it was one of those first moments where you go like, this is somebody I admired, and now I get to work with them. That was like one of the first times that happened to me, and so that's one person I definitely, that specific job that I had that moment of like, I'm working with Andy Dick, and I admire this guy so much, and he's so funny, and he was laughing at my stuff and liking what I was doing, so that was just, I was over the moon.
Yeah, the Andy Dick, right?
Yeah.
That was a way back reference right there.
Yeah.
Feel like you were in the Army now, huh?
Wait, say that again?
Feel like you were in the Army now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But now, have you met someone or have you worked with someone? You don't have to say their name, but have you worked with someone and you're like, I thought you were going to be different than this. Like, I thought you were going to be nicer.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, before I was able to make a living acting, I took jobs as like PA, stand-in, and I worked with some people who you're just like, oh, okay, I was really a hardcore fan, and it's going to be hard for me to continue. I want to just, okay, I've got to separate you from your work and just enjoy your work, and it's hard because you just aren't cool. You know, so
just as the person, you're just
you're just not cool. Why? But yeah, that definitely happens. I will not name names.
But was there ever anything that made you want to, or anyone who made you just kind of want to quit and say, forget it, like I just gonna go and get a regular job?
No, never, because I mean, you know how it is. It's in your blood. It's like you just, I have to. I mean, I worked in a supermarket before, you know, as a day job when I was starting out. There were jerks there. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to work with people who are difficult. So you might as well do what you love, because that's the only payoff otherwise, you know, in dealing with that. Because you're going to deal with drama at any workplace that you have.
Right.
So.
Okay. So now let's really dive into this new show on Fox called RIOT. So now, is it gonna be like Mad TV, or is it something totally different?
It's
like,
totally different. It's not sketch. It's all improv, and it's based on improv games.
Okay.
And short form games, and like for example, we have a game like called Questions, where you have to say every line of dialogue has to be put in the form of a question, but you're trying to make sure you're moving the scene forward, so you can't just ask. You have to, as you ask a question, my answer in the form of a question still needs to be answering your question. So, you know, so you try to make a scene and make it work, and that's the challenge. So it's a lot of games. And but then we also had these physical challenges. Like in that one specifically, if you make a mistake and you don't answer in the form of a question, you get jerked up in a harness 20 feet into the air, and you're out of the scene. And so, which was a lot of fun, actually. It really was a lot of fun hanging from those harnesses. So yeah, so it's a lot of that, and other physical challenges. There's one where called Mime Sweep, where you're up on a platform, and there's a wrecking ball that comes, and if you're on a timer, you're trying to give clues to somebody and trying to get them to answer as many of them as you can, and before the wrecking ball knocks you off the platform.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
this it sounds like Whose Line Is It Anyway on steroids. Like there's like just a whole bunch of
it's a lot more physically challenging. So, but it was a lot of fun. You know, I love that aspect of it. And like the centerpiece of the show is they have this stage that's at a 22-degree angle, but the way they shoot it, so from the audience point of view, it looks like you're straight, but really we're like climbing to try to stay on top of this thing, while at the same time trying to have a scene that makes sense and tell a story, so and be funny and all that at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. See, I've been tuning in now. I'm gonna start watching TV just to watch this.
Yeah, please,
this show.
please.
Who else is on the show?
We have myself, Brian Palermo, Jessica McKenna, Meryl Hathaway, Jamie Dembo, John Ross Bowie, and Rob Gleason. Rob Gleason. Yes, the handsome Rob Gleason. Yep, and yeah, so it's 7 of us, and everybody is, you know, either Groundlings or UCB or RIOT trained and have been doing improv for a long time. So you have a lot of really strong improvisers, which is really cool. Which you need when you have a wrecking ball.
Yeah, you need to really be able to
right, you gotta be
think on your feet and this and that. And so has anyone gotten hurt on the show yet, or has it?
No, thank God, no one's been injured. Knock on wood. Though it is a challenge. So I mean, I think there's a lot of sore muscles.
Right.
You know, using muscles you never knew you had, and then you're like the next day just like, oh, that's a new pain. I've never had pain there before.
Probably should have stretched before I got on stage. Right?
Not used to doing athletic things. That's why I'm in comedy.
So now tell me, because your Twitter is fake Jordan Black.
That's right.
So were you trying to troll yourself prior to creating the account? Like, was that the whole point? Or was it...
No, it was just I couldn't get at Jordan Black. That was gone. Some white guy in Canada has that. So congratulations.
How many followers does he have though? And does he really use it?
Yeah, he probably don't be tweeting. I bet he don't be tweeting.
You know, just have Twitter be like, hey, dude, just, you know.
You just park in there, man.
Right.
Let me get that spot. But yeah, so I got fake Jordan Black because, you know, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Because like when I was looking at it, I thought that it was like a fake account at first.
Yeah.
And then I saw it was verified, and I was like, okay, so then this is really him. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like, because you have like the real Paula Abdul. I was
Right.
like, well, you know, nobody cares that I'm the real Jordan Black, so I'll just say I'm the fake Jordan Black. Maybe that's more interesting.
And then they'll be like, okay, right. And then that's how you throw people off, and they're like, okay, wait a minute, and then they'll go to the white guy. So the white guy's getting all this
He's getting
spam, you know, on Twitter. He's like, what is going on with, you know, this black improv show? What is this?
Right. Why do people keep asking me about my black improv show?
Right. I'm trying to get in. I can't get in. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. That's funny. So what else do you have coming up? What else can we expect from the real fake Jordan Black?
I did an episode of the Hulu show Quick Draw, which was a lot of fun. Another improv show, actually. It's a comedy western. It was hilarious. That was a lot of fun on Hulu. Check that out. And then for those in LA, come down to the Groundlings, see us in the black version anytime, theblackversion.com. Check us out. And
how often do you do those?
We do it twice a month. We
Okay.
do that show twice a month, and we have a blast, and the audience is great. We get a lot of repeat audience, and because they want to see what movie we're doing next.
Yeah.
And because we never repeat the movies.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, and then RIOT starts on Tuesday, so I got my fingers crossed that goes well, and we get to keep doing more of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And so where can your fans and people find you online?
You can go to theblackversion.com. You can get me at Fake Jordan Black on Twitter. You can get me on Instagram at Fake Jordan Black. And I think that's all of my social media
Facebook?
info. Oh, yeah, I am on Facebook as well, Jordan Black. Yeah.
Because you know what I did super randomly, like I want to say about a year ago. I was just like on Facebook and I was looking up, you know, folks that I admire. I was like, if this is the real Facebook, let me see. And I saw that we had like some mutual friends. So I started adding a whole bunch of people. So I thought you just added me probably just to add me,
Right.
You know. But we've been Facebook friends for a year.
Oh, see, there you go. So
it means nothing. But I just want to let you know.
Oh, well, cool. See, it proves that I'm a cool guy.
All right.
Well,
thank
good,
you, sir.
man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right,
sir.
thank you for having me, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So make sure you guys check out RIOT on Fox. Premieres this Tuesday.
This Tuesday, yes, on
At
Fox.
what time?
At 8.
At 8. Check your local listings.
Check your local listings.
That's what I do. Check your local listings on Fox.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys check
Fox, Tuesday night.
There you go. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue. See you next time.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.